Good day, everybody, and welcome back to the flight deck. Over the next couple of videos, we're going to be taking a look at the CH-47 Chinook helicopter, new release from Miltech, and we're going to take a look at it, what it can do, and we're going to go for a little flight. So in the first video here, we're going to do the introduction to the aircraft. Now, in the late 1950s, the U.S. Army put out a request for a heavy transport helicopter, and Throttle company submitted this design, the CH-47 Chinook helicopter, a tandem rotor twin-engine heavy lift helicopter. After testing, it was brought online in the early 1960s, and it's been flying ever since with countries around the world. It has seen action in Vietnam, the Gulf, several wars in the Middle East, flies with air forces around the world, humanitarian missions, search and rescue, all kinds of stuff. But it is mainly a transport helicopter. Now, when you purchase a helicopter from Miltech, and they've already done one update to it, you're looking at updates coming, and more importantly, when Sim Update 15 comes online, there is going to be some big improvements, including the flight model being ported over to be native within the flight sim, as Sim Update 15 will bring in support for tandem helicopter, tandem rotor operations. You're also going to get some additional stuff that they'll be able to do at that point, such as certain autopilot features, heading hold, barrel altitude holds, and height above terrain holds if you're into the low-level, high-speed nap of the earth flying. Included in the aircraft, along with the usual sounds and graphics, we get 6 external cargo loads, which we'll take a look at. They can be either single slung or tandem slung under the helicopter, and 5 internal loads, and we'll actually view those loads since it's easy to do while the aircraft is sitting there. The aircraft can fly with TACAN, ADF, and VOR navigation, and eventually under Sim Update 15 there are going to be more GPS options brought in, but really it's a visual VFR type of flying helicopters. It does have some pretty interesting lighting in the cockpit for night flights, so if you do want to fly at night, you can get a good cockpit illumination done for that. Also included within the helicopter pack is RAF Odenham, E Echo Golf Victor Oscar, home of number 7, number 18, and number 27 squadrons, which is where we are today. Bryant Airfield at Papa Alpha Foxtrot Romeo in Alaska, home of the Army Alaska Task Force's CH-47 Chinooks. You'll also get Chabeli Airfield, Hotel Delta Charlie Hotel in Djibouti, U.S. military base in the Horn of Africa. You'll get Camp Resilience, identified as Uniform Sierra 01 in Jordan, a U.S. Army desert outpost. You'll get Al Sahar Base, U.S. 02 or Uniform Sierra 02 in Kuwait, a second fictional U.S. Army outpost. And the sim also comes with multiple training facilities, some exercises, and different types of missions you can do. Alright, we're now inside the cockpit of the Chinook. You can see there's the overhead panel there. Co-pilot sits on the left in helicopters. They're over there, our down panel, the 2 pilots panels, and our center console located right there. The aircraft comes with an EFB. We just click it on, and there we go. Alright, there's a map included. It's pretty basic, but it gives you the information you need. You can zoom out pretty far. As you can see, we can go all the way out. There's the south of England. And it'll give you a little bit of situational awareness as you're flying along. You get your north compass. You can have it orient the aircraft upwards. And you can also go over to this photo view to get a look at it that way. Over here on the load page, you can do your internal and external loads. We'll come back to that at the end. Here's our fuel, total fuel on board, and left tank, right tank configurations. 4 per side. 3 per side. There's 4 fuel switches. Forward auxiliaries, mains and aft auxiliaries on both sides. It gives you your left, right totals, and then your total for the aircraft. If you want your missions, you can come over here. There's firefighting missions. There is a firefighter livery included, along with several other countries. There's a rescue, there's hoist, and military exercises as well. So you can do the missions if you so wish. In the configuration, you can have it show a GPS if you want to use that. You can turn your altimeter setting over to AHPA. We are going to do that since that's where we are at the moment. And you can disable the downwash. The downwash shows dust and dirt and everything like that kind of flying. So you can disable that as well. If you do hear the dog in the background, my apologies. She's up and active and may make some noises that I might not pick up with the headset on. We're going to come back over to the door page now, and we'll show you what each of the doors do. So at the moment, if we look outside, we can see the helicopter is closed up. There's two sets of doors here. There's the back end here on the ramp, and then there's the door here. You also actually have a split door here, which we will now take a look at. So coming over to this side, we can go to the split door, and we can open the top of the split. We can see the door now opening. Nice animations there. And that door is now open. We can come down to the bottom now and open the bottom. Down it comes, and that's our stairs up to get into the helicopter itself. So swinging around to the back of the helicopter, we have a ramp. Now there's multiple buttons for this, as there are 3 parts to it. The first is the top cap here, which closes off the rear section. So if we come over here, that's called the top. It is currently extended. So we're going to come down here and click it to show it's being retracted. Down it comes. Now you can fly this way. They often do. Create some airflow inside the back when really hot if you're in deserts and stuff like that. And it opens up the back. So with that done, we can come down to the ramp itself. So we can bring the ramp, which is now closed, we can bring it to level. So the ramp is now going to come down to the level position. You'll find this being that sound should have kept going for a little bit longer, but you'll find this being used for, like, if you have paratroopers jumping out of the back, or sometimes in flight they'll open it to this point, and the load guys, load master and load crew sometimes sit in the back here and enjoy the views. And we can come down here to the full button, and that will bring the ramp down fully and sets it up ready to go for loading. And then of course to load, we're going to have to come down here and hit the slides, and they should be extending. I'm not sure why they didn't. That seems to be a bug. But they should extend out and come down, and that's where you would drive vehicles up. It does work in other liveries. I'm not sure if this is a livery issue. First time I'm flying this livery. So there is one other access point to the helicopter, and that is here in the center. So if we go to this view here, we can see there's a panel here on the floor. So coming back over here, we're going to open that. And we can see the panel opens up, and they open up the hatch in the floor. And this is lowering the single point hook. And what happens is the loadmaster can lie on the floor, and he can look down as the aircraft hovers, and he can watch the guys on the ground trying to hook the sling load onto the hook, and he can give directions to the pilot on anything he needs to do. So that gives them the ability to control some stuff through there. Alright, so we're going to come back up to the front. We'll get these all closed up. We'll pull the slide in, and we'll close the back door. You can see that's now coming up. Last thing we're going to look at before we go is the loads. Now, if we go to external loads, you'll see it gives you the type of sling and what it is. So the Humvee is a tandem hook, which means it's going to hook front and rear and come down in like a V. You can see the UH-60, which is the helicopter. It's the Black Hawk. It's going to use the middle hook. The boat's going to use the tandem. Bucket will use middle. The UAV will use tandem, and the nets will use the middle. I'm not going to hit those buttons because it spawns off to the side, and you got to have a clear area around where you can hook up. But if we go to the internal, what we're going to do is we'll come over to this view, looking back, and we can see the inside. So right now we're set up with the passenger benches, and the aircraft is currently empty. So we're going to come down and we're going to select the Humvee. You can see our weight just changed, our load on board the aircraft. And if we come around and take a look, you can see they've brought a Humvee on board and strapped it in, ready to go. The next one we can do is pallets. If we want to take a look at pallets, you can see we've got pallets loaded in. The side chairs are all folded up, and the pallets are on board. Come to the other end, see some of the lower pallets and some drums. Back up front, we'll go to the troops. Now looking in the back, we have our troops all set up and sitting inside. They are all ready to go as well. We can go medevac. And you can see we've got some troops and medics, and we've got a couple bodies on stretchers. And if we come back around again to the boat and we swing into the back, we can see there's the boat there, ready to go. So we could come down over water, hover with the tail of the ramp in the water, and it could slide the boat out and get it ready to go. And got a couple operators on the boat there. So that is our internal loads, and again for the external we have several different things that we can go and pick up. And if you're flying the firefighter version, it's got the bucket, and you can do the firefighter missions and pick up water and do that. So that is the introduction to the helicopter. Hope you've enjoyed. It's fairly short, but join us in the next video where we're going to go through the panels and getting the aircraft set up, started, and ready to go. See you then.